Iloilo, famed city of the South, home to sugar barons, enclave of culture, power, and wealth. Dawn unveils the richness of its cultural heritage and its age-old traditions, and its torrid and imposing turn-of-the-century and pre-war architectural legacies that continue to stand testament to Iloilo's glorious past.
We are proud that our city of Iloilo is the first city outside of Manila to have electricity. In 1905, we have already electricity here. We have also the first telephone, also in the 1910s. Iloilo is was the home ports of the only three luxury liners before the war. Then we have the customs house here. The customs house here, the Iloilo port, there was a time during the American time when we have more ships than in Manila.
Dotting Iloilo City and its surrounding districts are commercial establishments, ancestral homes, and academic and religious institutions which showcase the architectural genius and European influence of these decades-old structures, stately, magnificent in their details. Art Deco, Palladian-inspired, Roman with Baroque influences, Antebellum, Venetian-inspired,
Under the ordinance, all buildings in Iloilo City that are 50 years or more in existence are to be considered heritage or legacy buildings. Likewise, Plaza Libertad and the district plazas of Molo, Arevalo, Mandurriao, La Paz, and Haro were declared historical and cultural landmarks. The ordinance mandates that the use, upkeep, and preservation of these structures and landmarks as far as practicable shall always be the concern of the Iloilo City Cultural Heritage and Conservation Council.
In April 2000, the local Cultural Heritage Conservation Ordinance was enacted by the Iloilo City government to arrest the tearing down of the heritage sites and emphasize the preservation of the structures along J. Ambasa, Aldeguer, Guangco, and Isnart that have either fallen slowly into disrepair or been torn down to give way to modernity. The Iloilo City Cultural Heritage Conservation Council has taken an active part in ensuring that legacy structures conform to the ordinance when rehabilitation, repairs, or construction are undertaken. The preservation efforts of ICCHCC make certain that the original facade of the heritage sites are retained, restored, or copied.
Built into that ordinance was an incentive package, and this was developed to encourage building owners, to encourage business locators to focus their interests in these buildings. And we're happy to note that there had been several conservation activities ongoing.
This grant of incentives are aimed at reviving business activities within the heritage zone, which prior to the onset of shopping malls was the busiest area in Iloilo City. The revival of the Central Business District is not only expected to entice the return of local investment to the historic downtown area, but also to draw tourist interest to Iloilo as a heritage destination.
The Central Business District of Iloilo is a veritable time tunnel, going back to the period when the city was known as the Queen City of the South. Just walk along J. Basa Street, along Isnart, and towards the other business district of downtown Iloilo, and you will find that time could have stood still on you because of, not only because of the presence of these old heritage houses, but because of the ambience it gives you. And this is an ideal place for heritage tourism. After all, most of these heritage structures are still actively being used for residential uses, for commercial use, and for other purposes.
Intents of the Cultural Heritage Conservation Program, ICCHCC, with the assistance of the Canadian Urban Institute, drew up the Iloilo City Cultural Heritage Conservation Framework.
The focus of the local government is to ensure that these cultural heritage, like the old buildings, the old houses that we have in Iloilo City, will be preserved. First, to ensure that there is awareness on the generations and the future generations of Ilonggos on the rich cultural heritage of Iloilo. Second, we can use this also to further improve the tourism destinations in Iloilo City.
Guided by the vision, Iloilo City, the heart of the Visayan heritage, the conservation framework listed strategies that will, among others, increase awareness and generate political support to cultural heritage conservation, enhance community awareness and public education on the value of cultural heritage, and establish a sustainable organizational structure to coordinate the government and private sector's involvement in cultural heritage initiatives.